IRC. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for some rando?
Woo!
And we are off. Prior now checking out Link's chest, triple bombs right off the gate. That's a good start, seeing they're going to need bombs early on.
Oh yeah, definitely. That'll pretty much take care of, especially all of early Kakariko if they go the Sanctuary route. They won't have to do any stopping by the shop early on like you sometimes have to.
Absolutely. Both our runners now heading up to Uncle. Neither one of them doing a tree pull, but they got bombs early, so they're probably not too worried about it. Let's see what Uncle has for us here today.
Yeah, thankfully there is a tree pull.
Kane O'Brien. Right off the bat, never necessary, but always nice to have. So that'll save them a few bosses later on, blind especially. And we got a heart container from Uncle's chest. So he's going to save and quit out because they don't have a sword. No sense doing escape now, but we'll probably see that later on. Let's see what the Sanctuary has to offer. And we have more bombs.
Wow, that is really nice. Getting 2 bomb packs early, that'll definitely save a lot of time and potential farming they might have to do.
And of course, now both our runners heading over to Kakariko are going to stop off over at the Lumberjack and the Lost Woods. Quite a few items to check out there, so we'll get some early knowledge.
Yep, they'll also have another chance to check the tree pole. They also have the bush crab as well, so a couple of other small things they can check along the way, but it looks like Prier's not doing that. SirNiko, on the other hand, getting that blue Rippy level 1 tree pole.
Yeah, not the best, but certainly not terrible. $20 in the Lumberjack cave, so that's not going to be visited here today.
And we have an arrow drop from the bush crab, so nothing substantial, but it's always good to get that intel just in case.
And with that, Prior now in the Lost Woods. We've got we got a map check here. 2 crystals, one in desert, one in eastern, and red pendant at Hera. That's not too bad.
Definitely not. Hera's a very quick clear. 2 items there, so even if it is a pendant dungeon, it's definitely very easy to get through, and it's generally a location you want to check regardless of the pendant and crystal placement anyway.
Indeed, we have a piece of heart in the mushroom location. We have a heart container in the Forest Thieves hideout. So they're going to get that. A little extra health certainly does not hurt as they make their way into Kakariko Village and the plethora of items that await. And already chat calling shade because I'm here. It's a shade seed already. How trolly will it be today? It's only a matter of time until we find out. But let's see what Blind's Hat has for us here. Starting things off, we find more bombs. 5 arrow upgrade. 10 arrows. And a heart container. Not much in Blind's Hat, but let's see what the back has for us here. Can we get something back here? We get some rupees, and we find big 20.
There's the first big 20 of the seed, it seems like.
That's the longest we've seen without a big 20. That's interesting.
Yeah, definitely the most frequent item you can find in the randomizer pool for sure.
All right, Prior now heading into the well. We've got 5 more potential items in here, and we find another big 20 there. Now they're starting to pop up.
Yeah.
And in the back, we have Piece of Heart and Fisher Price Shield, Single Rupee, and Blue Mail.
Oh no, having a blue Christmas today, it looks like.
Someone call Elvis.
Actually opting to go back and get some more rupees for the bottle vendor. SirNiko won't have to do this since he did get that tree pull.
Yeah, that pays off in the long run, gives him a little more efficient routing here. Sometimes even if it's just a few rupees, that can make the difference. Let's see what the bottle vendor has, and it's heart container.
Not doing so bad for health so far, especially with that blue mail. That should make and having the Kane O'Brien as well, a blind may not be a bad first dungeon to go to, honestly.
They're right there going, well, we'll see what else we find here. Also, chat pointing out, we're getting a lot of blue in this seed. You know, not only do we have the blue tunic, but blue cane and blue shield.
Yeah, that's right.
We really are having a blue Christmas. Oh,
I guess so.
And $20 from the tavern. Can't check Sick Kid yet, so unfortunately that's going to have to wait. But we still got the library check and the race game coming up. So let's see what we find down there. And then, of course, it's off to the South Shore.
Also, wondering if there could make a potential Houlihan room play, just because it seems like they are very starved on rupees right now.
Yep. Library only having big 20, so that's not required. SirNiko not even going to check the race game. He's just going to go for it.
Yeah, sometimes racers will opt to go ahead and go up here through this route to check the library, or not library, the race game item. Just in case it is something they can pick up, then they can just go over and grab it really quickly.
Yep, but Prier does check. It's only a big 20, so that's going to end up saving him time in the long run. He's heading to the South Shore. We've got the dam, and we've got the mini Moldorm cave. It's going to be a little tricky with only bombs, but it can be done, and they could also opt to use the blue cane if they find enough magic before then.
And it looks like SirNiko is doing the Houlihan strat that I mentioned earlier. With this strat, he is going to be able to pick up about 200 rupees extra, so if he gets lucky and gets that 300 on the way to the South Shore, he could opt to make a Zora check early. Not having a Moon Pearl might dissuade that a little bit, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yep, Prier now joining the dam while SirNiko setting up the Houlihan room. The best way to do it when you don't have flippers is to go into the cave to reset the count, reset the setup, and then jump into the lake a few times. You won't take any damage doing this. And then at this point, he could just go ahead and pull this bush here, fall into the hole, and that will take him directly to the Chris Houlihan room, where he'll get a ton of rupees right there. Beautifully done.
Yeah, you only need to jump into that river like 3 or 4 times. I think I counted 6 times, which definitely not necessary, but just probably wanted to make sure that he got it.
Makes sense to some respect. Now that he's got that extra money, he's going to head down to the South Shore as well. Not going to find much in the dam, but let's see if the mini Moldorm cave pays out. We haven't found any major items yet, so we're probably likely to find something here.
Unfortunately, being out of magic, he can only use bombs. Thankfully, he does clear it out really quick, and he's probably, yep, he's going to grab that 4 bomb drop as well before he checks out the items in the cave.
Does make sense. You want to have your bombs stocked up because we've still got a few other places to check with that. And we have more bombs. The lamp, heart container, fire shield, and literacy.
Ooh.
Right now, desert's starting to look tempting at this point now.
Oh, yes, it definitely is. Still need a power glove to get through it, but probably just to check the items. That would be a potential play that they have. Gives them more items to check before making a potential play on either Dark World or Aghanim.
Indeed. Prior now heading up to the Ice Rod Cave. One thing I've always said is that this is one of the hardest locations to route because no matter what, even if you have the flute, you're going out of your way to get to it. So it's usually best to just knock it out early, especially in this case because it's likely going to be something in there.
Yep, you always have to think that you really only need bombs to open up this location. So it's a very early location to check, and that means that there's a lot of stuff that can be there.
SirNiko now setting up some bomb strats, having a little more trouble compared to Prier, so he's going to take a little longer. Unfortunately, he ran out of bombs, so he's going to have to come back here. That's going to be a waste of time. Prier now heading over to Eastern Palace, going to check Sir Hassela's closet and see what he has hiding in there.
Ooh, taking a hit from that crab. He only has 1 heart remaining at this point. He's going to have to be careful. Those crabs can be very, very tricky to dodge.
Absolutely, and they do a ton of damage, so he's going to need to make sure he wants to be very careful going up here because these crabs are fast, they're dangerous, and they are deadly. So let's see what Prier finds in Sir Hassela's cave. 3 potential items, and what do we find? 5-arrow upgrade, Ice Rod, and Ether.
And unfortunately, SirNiko taking a death to the crabs. It's really annoying, especially when you're on that Ice Rod journey or Ice Cave journey.
Yeah, because that means it's going to be harder for him to get back there. And eventually, thankfully, he's not going to find anything of significance there, but that's going to weigh on his mind later on as this goes on. And now we are off to Eastern Palace here on Prier side. SirNiko right on his heels on that regard as well. 3 potential unique items, but the question is will they find the bow? If not, they may be bow locked from getting that last item if the Armos Knights have them.
Yes, that is correct. So they will need to find that bow if they want to actually complete this dungeon, which is a crystal, so they are going to want to complete it. But thankfully, Eastern's a very quick clear, even if you have to come back to it, and it's always accessible from the very beginning of the game, which is why they do kind of want to come here early to check it out before doing anything substantial.
Indeed, Prier finding the map early on, which is not a good sign, to be honest, because that means increased chance of that last item being on the Armos Knights. Pretty much, he's going to want to hope that the compass is on him. That means that the big key will be along the way, and the rest of the 3 items will be accessible, especially logically, because they have the lamp now, so they can check the dark room. And I just missed what that chest was. Oh, Bombos!
Bombos. Yeah, it was Bombos.
2 medallions right out of the gate. That is interesting. That's something I've never seen before.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to use those medallions just yet. They still need a sword upgrade to actually use them. But to have those medallions early, especially when we don't know what the medallion requirements for Turtle Rock or Misery Mire are going to be, it's definitely comforting our runners knowing that they at least have some of them accounted for.
Indeed, and there's the big key. So we can check the big chest before the dark room. That's always comforting as well.
You know, they don't want to see right here or in the next chest. They don't want to see the compass because that means...
Nope. Moon Pearl!
That's an item they want to see, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, always love seeing the Moon Pearl. And that just leaves the vanilla big key location. And again, like you said, the last thing I want to find is the compass, because if it's the compass, that means the Armos Knights have it, and it will be bow locked. So they're really hoping to find that last item now before it's too late. Alright, Prier now entering there, taking the damage boost, gets the chest very quickly and finds... Oh, it's the compass! That means they will have to come back here at some point once they find the bow in order to get that last item from the Armos Knights. Though, thankfully, it is a crystal dungeon, so it won't be that discouraging to come back. In the meantime, Prier now heading over to the desert area, going to probably check the ledge, maybe even Agnes Cave, while he's in this area.
And potentially go into Desert Palace as well, because he does have that book, so...
Yep, and he also has a fire source, so if he finds the power glove at some point, he can check everything.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, where was the book? And I'm like, oh yeah, it was in Mini Moldorm Cave, because SirNiko did not have the ability to clear that out, and the lamp was there too. That's why we're seeing this dark room on the left side as well. So that Mini Moldorm Cave actually doing some damage this early in the race, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that will stop Prier from full clearing desert, like I said, right now, is the power glove and the boots if the key is on the torch. And there's a piece of heart from Agnes Cave, knocking that out. But it does give him an extra heart. A little extra health is never a bad thing.
Definitely not. And even if there is no value in desert, yeah, Prier still has that Hyrule Castle check as well. And with the lamp, it may be a good idea to go through just the whole thing, like the whole vanilla escape sequence, assuming he gets the key early enough anyway.
Bindocs, the reason we don't get hype whenever we find pieces of harp is they're so common, and they're really something that a lot of runners skip. So we don't really check that. Hype is when we find something that's really good.
Now, the hearts can be really hype if you manage to get a heart piece when you have, like, 1 heart left and it actually refills, like, your entire heart count while giving you a new container. That can be pretty hype, especially in a pretty dangerous situation, but that doesn't really happen too often.
No, it doesn't. So don't, that's the only time we'll see it, so don't count on it. But trust me, when the hype comes, we will bring the hype, because anyone who knows me knows that's what I'm best at. Prior finding the small key early, so he's going to be able to check the right side of desert, and there's 2 more items over there. He's going to have to use bomb strats on these tentacles, unfortunately, in order to go on further, because he does not have a sword. I'd be tempted to check the chest first, and he's also using his ice rod to kind of hold them in place.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Those things have... Oh,
Power glove!
Nice.
Almost vanilla there. Vanilla dungeon, at least. There's the compass. He's not going to check. He's not checking left side.
He can't, because I think that by that logic, the big key is on the torch.
That's true. Yeah, key is on the torch, which means it is boots locked. So that is as far as he's going. But with the power glove, that does open up a few things. And where he's going right now, the back end of escape, that's 3 more potential items. And if he finds anything there, that could open up a whole world of possibilities. So let's see what he finds hiding inside. And we have piece of heart container, and the small key. So off to the sewers we go. Thankfully, he does have the lamp, which SirNiko did finally go back and get the book and lamp from the mini Moldorm cave, so he is back on track. He's got a fake flipper, and he's heading to Zora, surprisingly. He's nowhere near the money for it, so all he's going to be able to check is the Waterfall of Wishing and Zora's Ledge, and even that, he can't even get it.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like SirNiko feels like he's wasted a lot of time, especially having to skip out on that mini Moldorm cave when he did, and then also taking that death and run the way to Ice Cave, that he's just kind of thinking, well, gonna try to make a play here, see if I can get some kind of value by sequence breaking, which is kind of a risky thing to do at times.
Yeah, because it can often throw you further off track, and already it's not paying off. He found Bloomerang and $50 and only a big 20 on the ledge, so that backfired on him. Yeah. So right now, Prier is taking the cue. He's got the power glove and he's got the lamp, so he's heading up to Death Mountain.
And SirNiko is going to go to Desert, it looks like. He's going to take care of all the things that Prier had already done by this point. So we're going to be seeing some familiar items from his side, and we're going to see some new stuff on Prier's side.
Yep, always nice to mix things up like that. A little something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. We got plenty of blue to go around right now.
Yeah, we do, for sure.
I hope you folks at home can tolerate memes and jokes, because I have plenty of them. I'm almost cross product levels of memes.
Yeah, if they're here for Rando, they know they're going to get a lot of memes already, so I'm sure they're used to it.
All right, an old man giving a 5-arrow upgrade for the escort, so not much paying off there. There's one more potential item he can grab at this point in the Spectacle Rock Cave. He can also find out what's on Spectacle Rock itself. So let's see what that pays off.
I'd almost at this point, I'd like to see the hammer inside Spectacle Rock, and then the progression actually being at Spike Cave, of all things, because they can technically get to Spike Cave from here.
5 bomb upgrade on Spectacle Rock, only a big 20 on the ledge, so Death Mountain not paying off. So at this point, I'd say the play is escape.
Yeah, that's really all they have left. There is still Zora that's in the logic, but they do not have enough rupees for that right now, so...
No, they do not. But escape is bound to have something at this point. I'm almost thinking there's going to be a sword of some kind in escape.
Yeah, and if it is a sword, they'd have to get another one right after it, because by that point, Aghanim would be on the table by then.
Wow, it'd be interesting to see another Aghanim siege after I've already commentated one recently. I still remember a race from the other night. Aghanim required, pedestal required, book on pedestal in order to get the Titan's mitts from Desert. That's how trolly it was.
Wow.
And again, Prier having to rely on bomb strats because he does not have any other weapon. There's the Titan's mitts, Dark World access.
Okay, so that was the progression they needed. And honestly, I think it would be a good point where when Prier kind of heads to the Dark World point in the village, maybe a good time to check Pedestal too. I know that a lot of people opt to do that when they're kind of clearing out Skull Woods, but at this point, if you have the book that early and you have like very constant Dark World access, I think it's better to just know what exactly you're working with, just in case.
Absolutely. Now we're checking our way through. There's the $20. I don't think we found the map yet, so that's probably what's going to be in Zelda's treasure chest downstairs.
Yes, you're right. I don't think we have found the map. I think you're right there. Yeah,
and he knows it too. He's noping on out of there. He knows there's nothing worth downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
SirNiko now following in Prier's path. He's checking the back end of Escape. He's going to be finding nothing of worth until he gets to the front end and gets those Titan's mitts. So let's see what Prier does next. Is he going to go to the Dark World first, or is he going to take your advice and check the Lost Woods and maybe even do that pedestal check? My bet is on just going to the Dark World because that's what they tend to do.
Yeah, I think maybe if they had the hammer, they'd consider it, because then you kind of have to like wrap around anyway once you check the pedestal. So, yeah, I think it's just going to be Dark World here.
And we get our Dark World map check. Crystal 5 at Skull Woods, Crystal 6 at Mire. I did not see where the pendants were, unfortunately.
There's going to be at least one on the right side for sure. Okay, green pendant at Ice Palace.
And someone says they saw a pendant at Pod, so
okay,
that's most likely the blue pendant. Ooh, we got some Mountain Dew in Skull Woods. That's one of our 2 unique items we can find here. Let's see if they find the other one before they get Fire Rod locked. There's the big key. That's always good to find now.
They did not find a small key. He's going to have to do this little wraparound right here.
Yep, he's going to have to go into this room here on the right, which is guaranteed a small key because you get locked out and you have to have the small key in order to escape the room. So this chest is logically set up to always have a small key.
Even in key sanity mode, it always has a small key.
And of course, there's another one right there just to troll him.
Okay, gonna do a small little bomb jump right here so he doesn't have to go the other way around.
And there's the burrito. If I'm correct, there is one other chest he could check, but he's opting not to. He's going to head down into the Village of Outcasts. Oops, scratch that. No, he's checking Bumper Cave.
I can understand not checking that chest at this point. Oh, was that a sword upgrade?
I think it was. Sword in Bumper Cave. Oh, that is trolly. That is trolly. Also, for those asking, Key Sanity mode is a form of randomizer where not only are the unique items randomized, but the keys are randomized outside of their dungeons. I mean, you could find a key to Ganon's Tower in Link's house. That's the kind of craziness this randomizer can do, but that's not what we're doing here today. Prior checking the Sea House and Village of Outcasts, finding a 5-bomb upgrade. Ooh.
Going to be very hopeful that we will have a Key Sanity tournament, though, in the next year, so be on the lookout for that.
With as popular as it is right now, I would not put it past our crew here for considering that in the future.
For sure.
We're now heading to the chest game, finds the red ring, and that's not too bad. Of course, he's going to head down and check the bombable hut. I've seen this one place pay out more often than you think. But not this time. Only a piece of heart.
Yep.
Now, is he going to head up to Thieves Town or is he going to head south? Yeah, it looks like he's heading south to the digging game. We're going to see what old Alec Baldwin has for him today. He might even rescue the Frogsmith. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Gonna take the Froggy on a bit of a world tour. Have fun, Jeremiah.
Unfortunately, though, he will not be able to check the digging game while he has someone following him, so that ought to be put on hold, but that's okay. We're gonna check a few other locations first.
Yep, first off, good old Stumpy. We'll see what he has hiding here in the Dark Grove, and it's 300 rupees. There, that's what we're talking about there.
Yeah.
We need that Zora money.
Oh yeah, that's actually another point. Even if he did check a digging game first, he would have not had enough rupees to even do that.
That's a fair point. Now he can. So what else is he going to check? Oh, I think he's heading to the location formerly known as the Hype Cave. Let's see if it actually is hype today. It's a good chance given the lack of items we found here, but hold your hype, folks. We don't know yet. Let's see if it's actually hype first. Let's see what we find here. Sets the bomb up. Thief has bug net. No, that's not too bad. Now we find 20 bucks, 10 arrows, 50 bucks, and 10 arrows. I call that a trash cave.
Meanwhile, on SirNiko's side, having a little fun with the frozen guard, using that as his weapon against the ball and chain guard.
Yeah, but he wasted his time because he only found the map in there like we guessed earlier. He did not realize he got all the items, so that was a small waste of time, but oh well. Prior now, back into the light world, he's got the swordsmith back. He's going to be dropping him off and seeing what he's going to get for his 10 rupees. Just a reminder, if you guys are enjoying our runners or so already this far in, please be sure to give SirNiko and Prier57 a follow on Twitch. They are great guys. A lot of fun. Prior now checking the bottle kit and only getting 3 bombs for his trouble. So the sick kid just had some explosives to help find some bugs.
I guess so.
And SirNiko with the map check now. We can confirm it was green pen. It was green pendant at Pod and blue pendant at Ice.
To answer a question in chat, the reason he was able to bring the guard from the Dark World, or not the guard, the swordsmith from the Dark World, is that he save and quit, which took him back to the Light World, and it makes it so that if someone was following you, or if the chest is following you, they will be following you when you resume your game.
Oh, and apparently I got my pendants mixed around again, but it is confirmed that those were the 2 pendants were. All right, Prior now going to head into Feast. No, where is he going? Oh, he's probably doing the purple chest. Also, on the schedule, there is another race happening right now over on ALTTP Randomizer. That is our secondary tournament happening right now, and I believe there is a race going on there. That's why we're not doing a quad race today. But Prior now heading over to the digging game now that he has the money and no one following him. So let's see what Alec Baldwin has.
I'd like to see a paradox shovel at some point. I've seen one before where they dug up the shovel from this game. I'd like to see that again. But nope, just 50 rupees. So we're seeing why, this is the reason why Prier did not do this room. Doesn't exactly have a lot of items to work with killing these enemies in this room. He does have the boomerang, so he could stun, yeah, like that, and kind of get those out of the way. But yeah, this room can be very tricky if you don't have a sword or any other items of interest.
Indeed. Dr. Bobtastic actually giving us our pedestal hype index here. Fire Rod, Hookshot, Boots, Cane of Samaria, Mirror, Flute, a sword upgrade, and flippers, all potential pedestal items. That is some hype right there, folks. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but the hype is high.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that can be in pedestal right now, for sure. Anyway, unfortunately, that last room in Skull Woods that SirNiko checked was only able to give him a small key, though, so that item was not worth the trouble of getting rid of those enemies with this equipment, but at least he knows at this point.
That's very true. Also, big correction on... Oh, there's the mirror! Mark that off the list. And also mark the flippers off, because Ice Palace is a pendant, so therefore it can't be on the pedestal either. So that's two items off that list, but still a pretty good potential. But with the mirror, that's going to help their routing a little bit, because even if it wasn't required for Swamp Palace, the mirror is a very valuable item because it allowed them to warp back to the beginning of a dungeon at any time, and considering that some dungeons you want to do that, that will save some time.
Chat actually pointing out that Prier entered Thieves Town without a surefire way to kill Blind. That's technically untrue. Blind is actually vulnerable to the Cane of Burna Sparkle Ring. The only thing is he will need definitely full magic for that to work, so it could still happen, but yeah, it's going to be kind of difficult to pull off.
It's a risky play at the very minimum.
Sure. But there may still be some items in here that could give him the hammer or a sword upgrade, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and chat rightly pointing out, he does also have that green goo.
Ooh, that's true,
that could help. That might make it a little bit easier. Still doesn't guarantee he'll be able to pull it off, but it does make it easier for him, considering that the Cane of Burner eats a lot of magic.
Yes, especially on no half magic meter.
If he finds that, he'll definitely be tempted to clear it.
But yeah, it can definitely be done. It's just going to require a lot of turning on and off, I think, at certain points in the fight, just so you don't waste too much of it on those in-between phases. Yes, Hype Cave has been checked. Unfortunately, it didn't really have anything substantial, just some upgrades and heart pieces and stuff, so...
Yep. Unfortunately, only finding the compass in the mage's chest, cannot check the big chest because he does not have the hammer. So he is hoping that he can A, beat Blind, and B, hope that Blind has an item.
Yep, for sure.
If he doesn't, that could be painful, because I've seen people leave the big chest in Thieves Town for a long time and ended up having the item they needed. One of my more infamous runs that I've calmed had that happen, where they needed the Fire Rod to complete Skull Woods, which had the Cane of Samaria. So it can happen, and he's saying, nope, I ain't risking it.
Yeah, honestly, maybe not a bad idea. Just come back later, maybe even with a full magic meter to start out with. It was probably honestly just a smart idea just to get Blind to that point, so if they need to come back and finish it, they can just very quickly pop in and just take care of that whenever they have time.
Plus, it'll incentivize him to go back and check the big chest once he gets the hammer.
Yeah, definitely.
And no, he does not have to escort the maiden again. Now that Blind is already active, he'll be waiting for him when he gets back. And since he has the mirror, he's going to check the mirror cave up here. Don't forget, doesn't forget to drop the chest. Let's see what we have. Fire Rod!
All right. That pretty much opens Skull Woods back up. Oh, no, it doesn't. Technically needs a sword upgrade, too. But yeah, there is another chest you could potentially look at, but that's about it.
That's still better than nothing. Any option you can take.
Yeah, it's another weapon for sure.
So we now have both rods. All he's missing is the Cane of Samaria, and Turtle Rock starts looking like an option at that point.
I'm actually wondering if Prier, he can't get the item at Bombo's tablet, but he can check it with the book. So I'm wondering if he might do that before he heads away from here.
It might be a good idea to check it at least, and that looks like what he's going to do, because that knowledge could come in handy. If it's a required item, he'll know to go back for it, whereas SirNiko may not think about it until it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if this is the case. We have sword upgrade.
Sword upgrade.
My lord. So that means right now we need the cape and we need Master Sword just to get more sword upgrades.
Yep. So that's either going to be the tempered sword or the gold sword at this point. Okay, so with the mirror, Prier is going to go back on top of Death Mountain and check out Tower of Hera. Be unable to actually attack the boss, though, of Tower of Hera.
Yep, but he can also at least check the Ether Tablet as well, just like he did.
True.
So that might be what he's doing as well. And if he finds a sword here, this will pay off. Given what we've found so far, it's a good possibility.
Yeah, we're finding the sword upgrades. They're just being blocked by other items and other sword upgrades. I wouldn't be surprised if Ether's also a sword upgrade by this point.
Oh, that would be so trolly. That would be so trolly. But let's see. And it is the boots! The boots! That means both tablets will need to be come back for because the boots are required.
Where is this cape?
oh my god. Well, you guys wanted a Shade Seed. I think we got one.
Yeah, I think we're getting to that point.
Prior finding the big key downstairs. That's a nice early find.
Yeah, at this point, we know the boots are required, too, because of that big key on the desert torch, so they will need to get that.
Yep. I am sure the chat is having a field day now. You guys like those trolley seeds. I think we're getting your wish here. Oh, poor Hippo. He's like, I didn't want to Shade Seed yesterday. Sorry, bro. Can't be helped.
We're having a little problem with this last beetle. Honestly, one thing you could do is just go downstairs and re-enter the staircase and grab another pot from the... Or you can just use the cannon burner. That works too, I guess.
He just got you there, buddy, didn't he?
Yeah. In my defense, he didn't have that much magic, so I didn't think of that.
I wouldn't have thought of it either. Don't feel bad. Anyway, Prior now heading upstairs. He's going to have to go the long way around to get to the big chest, but let's see what this first chest here has.
Hookshot!
Oh, perfect timing for that to show up.
Yep, that's going to open up the rest of Death Mountain and Dark Death Mountain to an extent as well, so yeah.
Yeah, he has the Titan's Mitts, and he is, because he does not have a weapon, he's going to actually check the basement. He hasn't found both items yet, so and since he can't fight Moldorm, he is banking on the last item being in the basement. And he's setting up. There we go. Bathroom break strats.
Yeah, this is always the point in a randomized run where you can take a bathroom break, grab something to drink, do your taxes, all that other menial stuff you have to do during the day.
Yeah, because right now he can just leave Link there. He gets invincibility strats from those blue blocks, and the tiles can whack him all day long and it won't do any damage.
To answer a question in chat, yes, neither of our runners have sword upgrades. We know where 2 sword upgrades are, but they are being blocked, one by the cape, one by 2 swords. So there is info out there, we just don't have the means of getting it yet.
Oh, and it's the burrito in the basement, so Moldorm has the last item!
Oh, gosh. Well, a good reason to kind of justify that visit, though, is he did get a full magic pickup from there, and has more magic to work with now, so that's at least something.
Plus, he got the hook shot, which allowed him to check the Paradox Cave and the Spiral Cave, so he was going to find some items out of this. But, oh, man, this seed is trolling hard.
Yeah, and it looks like SirNiko is going to attempt the blind fight with the same blind fight that Prier tried to do earlier.
Yeah, he's actually going to go for it, but he wasted his magic, unfortunately, using the cane a little too early. He should have waited a minute. So, unfortunately, that's going to cost him. He's going to have to be very careful with his cane strats from here on out. Silver's in the Paradox Cave.
Okay, it looks like he does kind of... his one chance, though. If Blind gets away from him right here.
Nope.
He got him. All right.
That's going to help him a little bit. He might get something out of that. Piece of heart, unfortunately, but still, that's the first crystal of the game, 40 minutes in. And SirNiko not finding much in the Paradox Cave. That is not... That's not very common, but that just means the trolling continues.
Yep, for sure. And at this point, you gotta think, SirNiko has got to feel behind, especially after that Death to Ice Cave, and then not getting the Moldorm Cave items until later. So he's got to feel behind, but the funny thing is, he does have 1 crystal over Prier right now.
Yep, and Prier now going to take the Walk of Shame in the Spiral Cave, because we know where the boots are, and he's not getting those right now.
Thankfully, he's going to be able to jump right back down and then start looking through Dark Death Mountain as soon as he's done with this.
Yep, and unfortunately, there was only bombs on the floating island. SirNiko now picking up his fire rod. Prier only finding a piece of heart in the Spiral Cave. So not finding much. Still not finding anything. This is torture.
Boots have technically been found. They are under the Ether Tablet, but we do know where the location of the boots are.
We just can't get them because we need at least Master Sword to get to them. We haven't even found a fighter sword yet. That's how trolly this seed is being right now. It is holding everything back on him. Now SirNiko going to check the Bombos tablet. He's probably not going to be happy with what he sees there.
And chat actually has kind of a good point right now. Aghanim is not off the table yet. There's the cape.
Oh, we finally are going to have our first sword. Holy crud.
Yeah, with no flippers and no hammer, this could still be an Aghanim seed. It's not entirely likely, but it could still happen.
Yeah, Prier could still also check Hookshot Cave, but before he does that, he's going to check Turtle Rock, and it is Quake. The one medallion they don't have. Wow. Evil seed is evil. All right, it's Hookshot Cave. We got a piece of heart in the first chest. He heads on up, and we find the single arrow. 10 bomb upgrade. And a piece of heart.
Ooh. Looks like he's skipping out on Spike Cave, though.
Surprisingly, considering he has
no
quite
hammer.
a...
No hammer, never mind.
Oh, that's right. No hammer. No hammer, so they can't do Spy Cave. Still, he's going to take the cue. He's going to probably head back over to the Dark World through Kakariko and then head over to the Bumper Cave to pick up his first sword 45 minutes in.
Yeah, and in his last race, SirNiko also had a very, very, very late fighter sword as well. So he's probably thinking, again, no fighter sword until like the around the hour mark. That's got to be very, very frustrating.
Oh, and chat brings up a good point. What if there's another sword upgrade on the pedestal?
That could very well happen. Pedestal has not been checked yet. We do not know what's there.
No, it is not. And given that they have the mirror and the fire rod, they haven't finished Skull Woods yet. I'm almost betting somebody's going to check it.
Yeah, probably Prier right after he gets the sword upgrade, because with that sword upgrade, he can finish Skull Woods finally. So that will probably be his play after the sword acquisition.
Yep. And yeah, I agree with Chet. That would be the biggest of trolls, meaning you have to go through this much trouble just to get the first sword and then have to go through all the pendant dungeons just to get the second sword. Ooh. I feel for these runners if that ends up being the case, because we still don't know where the last sword upgrade is.
The thing is, Automaton, you can't actually get the tablet items until you have Master Sword. If you just have Fighter Sword, you cannot get the items. It has to be Master.
Yep, and given that one of the tablets is a sword upgrade, unless we find one in one of those pendant dungeons, and if there is a sword upgrade get on the pedestal, they're gonna have to do the pendant dungeons to get it.
Yep.
That's why we're saying this seed is become very evil, with the potential to be even more cruel if it chooses to be.
Mm-hmm. And see, now it's actually kind of good that Prier did not use his green potion earlier for the blind fight. Now, what he can do is save that for Mothula, just to get some added shots with the fire rod if he doesn't want to do the fighter sword the whole way through.
Yeah, that pays off for him in the long run, and he has the sword now for blind, so that works out for him in a perfect way. Dr. Bob Taskett, yeah. We're gonna have runners saying Shades should not be commentating my runs. He keeps trolling everybody.
Or you could have runners that when they see that you are commentating, they can go, okay, well, this is going to be trolly. I'll just do the most random gambles ever, and then they actually win because of that.
There's your game plan. They're like, oh, Shades is commentating. This is gonna be a troll seed. I'm just gonna go for broke.
Yeah.
Oh, but even then, like in this case, you can't go for broke. It is super linear at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Does require you to get things in a very specific way here. Required you to go up to Hera, not finish Hera to get the hook shot, force double dip of Hera, and then go get the cape to get the first sword upgrade from Bumper Cave.
Oh, good lord. Now SirNiko got to pick up his cape, so he'll be getting his first sword very soon. Meanwhile, Prier is on his way to Mothula.
Given double dip Heras, like they're more common than you think because of the freaking torch room, but this is not a typical double dip Hera situation.
No, it is not.
Okay,
and Prier, very clean fight with Mothula there, and he drops the compass, so he's gonna have to check that last chest for the item.
Oh yeah, good point. Didn't even need the green potion, which you typically don't. But again, it's just one of those things. Like if you have it just in case, like the fight really gets away from you.
Absolutely. So Prior now got to head back into the back end of Skull Woods, check that last chest. And will he check the pedestal afterwards? I think at this point you kind of have to with all the potential items that it still holds.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
The flute! Nope, he's not going to check it.
Uh-oh. I don't know about that play.
He's gambling again.
I guess so. Das Flute, as some of chat is saying.
No, guys, come on. Don't force that joke with other items. It's only for Das Boots. Though I do agree, why would you not check it? You have the means to do so right there. Get it. It's 2 seconds. It's not out of your way. Get it over with, and that knowledge could be crucial in this run, but maybe he knows something we don't. Who knows? Maybe he figured something. Maybe he's figured something else that we haven't realized yet. You never know. But Prior is going to check the graveyard cave.
And if SirNiko does check pedestal, that could give him an edge because he will be slightly shifting his route around a little bit to kind of compensate for that find. He'll still need the flippers though to stay on logic anyway, just so he can get the Ice Palace pendant. But yeah.
300 rupees from the graveyard cave, so not much there. He can't check the King's Tomb because he needs the boots for that. So he won't be checking that here at this point. But at this point, I would be surprised if there's anything in there.
Yeah. Nico does not have his sword yet, but from the look of things, he is going to be getting that very, very shortly.
Yep, indeed. And Prior now going to activate his flute here shortly. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for everyone to rise for the Link to the Past national anthem. Get your swag ducks in chat, folks, because we're getting ready to flute. And ladies and gentlemen, the goose is loose.
Okay, SirNiko having his sword now.
And he's going to immediately check out the mire area, find out what medallion he needs for that. And on top of that, check the mire shack and checkerboard cave to see what's there.
Yeah, with how linear this has been, definitely a very good check at this point. So, wouldn't be surprised if he finds something in here. Bow!
Oh, this time!
And I guess we also saw that the Ether Medallion is the medallion for Misery Mire, so can make the play to check the items in there. Cannot finish it yet without that Cane of Samaria, though.
No, and only 20 bucks in the checkerboard cave. And where is Prior going now? Why be flew over here? Is he fake flipper into ice? No, he can't be. What is he doing?
I don't think he hasn't done any of the water stuff here, so he's probably just in general just doing these
good
checks.
point. Yeah, he's gonna check the hobo. He's gonna check Lake Hiley Island. Oh! There's There's our Master Sword on Lake Hylia Island. Boot flippers required. Yes, there is a glitch that you can do, but it's very hard to do, so it's most likely going to be flips required to get the Master Sword.
Yeah. Every sword being blocked by one specific item.
Oh, and the chat points out the glitch requires the boots anyway, so
Yep.
flippers guaranteed required. Oh, that is cruel. That is cruel.
Well, at least he knows that the flippers will not be on the pedestal at this point, so that's a good.
Actually, no, it still can be.
Ice Palace.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Still, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't think, I don't think SirNiko actually checked Zora because he didn't have the rupees back then, so we will see what Zora has at the very least.
No, Ego Buff, we do know where all 4 swords are. We know for a fact we got the one in the bumper cave. We got the one there's the one on the tablet, and then there's this one here.
Well, that's 3 swords, not 4.
That's 3, so yeah, there's still a 4th one out there. Oh, Lord.
Oh, just a piece of heart on the pedestal. Lame.
Oh, debated.
And see, that was, well, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing, because you don't, at this point, we don't want to see a sword on the pedestal, because that means SirNiko would be clearing Zendan dungeons when he doesn't need to.
Yep, so that actually works out in their favor, but oh, pedestal seed dead. Rip pedestal. Part of me was hoping for a pedestal seed. I wanted to see that again.
I mean, this feels like a pedestal seed anyway. Like, just the cape is one pendant, the flippers are another pendant, and another sword upgrade is the 3rd pendant.
Oh, man. So Prier now going to head over to Thieves Town. He has not cleared that yet, so he's going to finish that up real fast since he at least has a sword to do it with.
And there's still a lot of items we need for Go Mode. Maybe not a lot, but definitely a few things we need. We need the hammer, we need the flippers, we need the Quake Medallion, we need the Cane of Samaria, so there's still a lot of things that can happen. We need the boots as well. Man, there's a lot of things.
Yeah, we're almost an hour in. We're still far from Go Mode. SirNiko now activating his flute that he got. A little note to tracker, we do need to get that added in there. But otherwise, we are in good shape here. And he's going to buy some potions.
Boots are required because the big key in Desert Palace is on the big torch, so that will be necessary to complete that dungeon.
Yep. And Prier now finishing off Blind, getting his piece of heart. And his third crystal, actually. No, second crystal. SirNiko now got to head up to Zora, and we know he's not going to find anything up there, unfortunately, but better to get it out of the way now.
Yeah, and through all of this stuff that's been happening, Aga is we still don't know if it's required or not.
That is sad to be an hour in and still be a potential Agatum seed. And it's looking more and more likely every second, which is oh, that hurts.
Yeah, at this point, like, there's the item on Armos, and they can finish Tower of Hera now too. So they have to literally go to the ends of dungeons to actually check before they have to make that play. Nope, this is not a pedestal seed anymore, Soldier Hawk. We saw that the item was a piece of heart.
Prior now going to head into Eastern Palace. He's gonna finish that up and hope to find something on the Armos Knights. This has been a very trolly seed, worse than anything I've ever seen.
One thing that could make this a little more interesting is if SirNiko decides to hop into Meyer for some checks. Prior's probably not really thinking about Meyer because there's pendant or there's this crystal to finish up, and then also Hera to finish up as well. But there hasn't been uncommon to see items like the Cane of Samaria in the Misery Meyer dungeon. So
yeah, it's vanilla dungeon, so it would make sense to hide it there. And that would definitely be the trolliest thing a randomizer can do, is to hide an item in its vanilla location. This would definitely be a case of that.
Oh, looks like he is fluting away, though. Or, no, maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, is he going to go for it? Yeah, I think he's going to go for it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is gambling time. The thing I've always said, with runners good enough to be in this part of the tournament, it comes down to what gambles do you make and which ones pay off. So if there tends to be a big item in Meyer, this will be a huge boost for SirNiko.
And it could be a case of just calculating the percentages, because there's one item in Eastern, one item in Hera, 2 potential items here. So he's probably thinking, well, there's more items available in Meyer. I'll just check Meyer while I'm here. And I think that could be a really good call.
Oh, but
Flippers!
It's not! Flippers on the Armos Knights!
I really didn't want to see that, but there's...
Ho! Yeah, that's it. Goodbye. Prior making the right call, going to the Armos Knights, finishing up Eastern, and getting the flippers. That opens up a ton of possibilities.
Yeah, and as Chad is saying, a massive lead. I don't know if I'd say massive at this point, but yeah, that does push him in this path of progression here. So it is.
It's a significant lead, to be sure, because he's able to get the Master Sword from Lake Hylia Island now, which will immediately let him go to the Bombos tablet to get tempered if he wants.
Yeah,
that's 2 sword upgrades. Plus, he can go back up to Tower of Hera and before going in, grab those boots from the Ether tablet. So this opens up a ton of progression for Prior.
Yeah, at this point we are going to have to see something from Meyer right now to even make this at least somewhat balanced out. But yeah, like, that is a very good point. It does unlock so many other items that he could really use to get even further ahead.
And he knows it too, because he's checked Lake Hylian. He's going back there and he's getting his sword.
And yeah, at this point, Aghanim is definitely not required with the flippers. They can get over to that other side of the Dark World, no problem. So, no more Aghanim.
Agassi dead. Pedestal Steed dead. Boo. Unfortunately, SirNiko not finding much in Meyer just yet. And he's going to head up to Tower of Hera. He's probably going to get his Tempered Sword later, but if he's smart, he will grab that because it's not that far out of the way. He might grab it on his way to Swamp once he can get the hammer and get access to that.
Okay, chat is bringing up a good point, though. There is also the case of the big bomb for Pyramid Fairy. In that scenario, although a very small scenario, Aghanim could still be required, but...
Not that I know. Well, how would that work? Because you'd only need to clear the 2 dungeons. You do not have to defeat Aghanim for that to be active.
Well, the thing is the bomb. Whenever you jump off a ledge, the bomb stays where it is and blows up. And if you want to get to the pyramid, you need to go all the way around just to jump
Fair
down
point.
into that lake. So that would make it
Fair
hard.
point. Yeah, he will have to get, but that's only if he doesn't find the hammer. If he finds the
Yeah.
hammer, the Fat Fairy opens right up.
For sure.
But Prior getting Das Boots. What are those? And he's opting not to finish up Tower of Hera. I guess because it's a pendant dungeon, he feels he doesn't need to. He better hope that Moldorm does not have a progression item, because I don't think they found both items in the tower.
Nope, Moldorm does have the last item in there, so yeah, that location is still open.
But instead, he's going to head over and check the King's Tomb and see what's hiding in there.
Unfortunately, it looks like the Meyer play was unrewarding, unfortunately for SirNiko.
Yeah, it looks that way. So unfortunately, that backfired on him. The right play was made by Prior to check the Armos Knights first. And it looks like SirNiko is realizing that he's heading that way now. Prior now also going to check the Bonk Cave. Not very often these have progression ends, but every once in a while. 300 rupees. Not necessary at this point. He's pretty much got all the stuff he's got to pay for. The only thing he's got left is Kiki the Monkey, which he's got more than enough for. And even then, that's a pendant dungeon.
I'm trying to think of what Prior is checking right now.
That's a good question.
Oh, he might just be heading over to the right side of Dark World then from this angle.
Ah, good point. And he can, from there, he can check Catfish and he can check the Pyramid to see what those have hiding for him. SirNiko now making his way into the back end of Eastern Palace. Going to be fighting the Armos Knights here shortly. He's going to be getting those flippers, and he's probably going to be a little frustrated finding those now, this late in the game. All right, so what does Prior find from the Catfish? It is just a big 20. Not what he was looking for.
And probably after Pyramid, he might actually take a dip into Palace of Darkness, just because there are a lot of items available there. The hammer really only blocking the boss in that dungeon, so he will be able to check a large majority of the items, and at least to get 4, if not all of them.
Yeah, that does make sense. So that might be it's no doubt a smart play to make. And with both version 26 and 27 logic, a lot of items tend to be in dungeons, so it's usually a good idea to check those. SirNiko now finishing out the Armos Knights rather fast, getting his flippers, and getting his next crystal. So now they're tied up crystal-wise, but they still have a long way to go. And only a single rupee on the pyramid, so yep, off the pod we go. And now it's time to go through the maze-like, the forest maze of Pod and get a visit from everyone's favorite little extortionist, Kiki the Monkey. 110 rupees down the drain just to get into a dungeon. How cruel can you be?
It could be worse. You could get hit, lose Kiki, and then spend another 10 rupees getting them back, but it does look like Prior will not be having that problem.
Chat bringing up a good point. With the boots, Prier can go back into desert at any point and check the rest of the items there because he's still missing, and I think an item there.
At this point, I'm also wondering if SirNiko actually even checked the island and also the ether tablet. Like, he definitely went in those areas a few times, but I don't know if he actually saw either of them. We know Prier did, because that's why he has them now. But
yeah, he might not have. I don't think he did check those, so that could come back to haunt him if he doesn't know what's waiting for him. Ooh, that could be bad. Prier now and working his way through Pod, or as we like to call it, the Mullet Mansion, as Dr. Bobtastic calls it, because all the keys are usually in the front end, most of the items are in the back, so it's business in the front, party in the back.
yes. Okay, and chat pointing out that he did check the ether tablet. Okay, so that's good.
Hey, check that. So he knows he's going to need the boots, but he doesn't know the Master Sword is available to him at this point because he did not find the Master Sword. He did not see the Master Sword on Lake Hylia Island. SirNiko opting not to check Catfish, but given that we know it's nothing there, it's not going to hurt him anything. Also, got a shout out from Dr. Bobtastic in the chat.
Yep, boots are at ether. Another sword upgrade is at Bombos. And the Master Sword needed for those two is at the floating island of Lake Hylia.
Like we've been saying, this dungeon, all of the trolling. It's unbelievable how trolly this seed has been. All of the back and forth they've had to do just to keep up. I feel for these runners, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of potential double dips and pendant dungeons, and just very far independent dungeons too. Needing them to just get one item elsewhere, and it's just have them go all over the place. Very, very trolling.
SirNiko now on his way to Pod. He has not gone to the islands because he does not know what's waiting for him. There's the last sword upgrade.
Okay, so all the swords have been found.
And Prier knows where the last one is. That's tempting because it's not hard to get the butter sword again. I would not be surprised if he decides to just stop on over there on the way to Swamp or after Swamp.
To me personally, I don't know. At this point, I feel like tempered is enough. He has silvers. It'll only be buttered. Only really makes, I think, a very small difference when it comes to Ganon. And now he has half magic as well. That's also going to help out tremendously. So I just don't see him going to the buttered sword at this point. To answer a question in chat, yes, all sword upgrades are progressive. So if you find 2 sword upgrades, they will both say like level 1 on it. But once you get one of them, the other one will say level 2, and you just get them in order from 1 to 3 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Okay, so Prier is going in to check Misery Mire. From what we saw from SirNiko's side, he will not find any progression in here and will be unable to finish this dungeon. So SirNiko can use this time to catch up a little, potentially get that Master Sword that will be in the Dark Room for him. He can use that to get the boots and also just kind of get caught up a little bit. This will definitely help him, but Prior is going to be flying through this area, especially with that tempered sword.
Tempered sword and the boots. He'll be moving a lot quicker, so it won't be too much time, but every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we still have Desert Palace with an item hiding. We still have a couple other dungeons they can still check. So we're not... This seed is far from over, folks.
Yeah, because at this point, Swamp is open for one chest. Ice Palace is open for a lot of chests. Can't complete it without the hammer, though. And there's obviously still that last item in Desert as well, so still, yeah, definitely still some things around.
So SirNiko now getting his Master Sword there in the dark end of Pod. So he's probably going to be picking up his boots before long, but he is still a bit behind because Prior has just been perfectly routing himself and just getting all of the luck. Oop, Prior accidentally messing up there in the torch room. He's going to have to reset it. There we go. And SirNiko finishing up in Pod. He's going to nope on out of there because he doesn't need to complete a pendant dungeon yet at this point. He especially knows that because he's already checked the pedestal.
Yep, and he'll be heading right back up to Death Mountain Cave. Going to grab his boots from the Ether Medallion, and I'm really curious to see where he's going to go next.
If he's smart, he'll make the play on Tower of Hera, just at the very least to see what item Moldorm has, because it may be a pendant dungeon, but if Moldorm has an item, you want to get that, because it could be a big item.
It really could be, and I mean that's the kind of gamble. Again, like he's done gambles like these this entire race, and they've not paid off. But the thing is, those gambles can still be very important, and they can still pay off in many different ways. So we'll have to see about that.
Prior now finishing up, and Myers obviously didn't find anything, so what's his next play? Does he take the gamble on Swamp, or does he take the gamble on Tower of Hera?
Oh, okay, SirNiko just saw the tempered sword on Lake Hylia. You can tell from his pause right there. He's like, oh, there was a sword right there. Okay, well, that's
I could have grabbed that earlier. What the heck? And I don't think he checked Bombos either, so he might check that and end up getting Butter Sword.
That's true, yeah. That could happen.
Also, chat, rightfully pointing out, neither of our runners have finished up Desert yet. They both have the means to clear it, but they have not gone back.
Yeah, it looks like Prior is making the play to get the Butter Sword here, so he's going to be at full power with his swords.
And here you said he wasn't going to go for it.
I still personally wouldn't have worried about it so much. I mean, it does. You saw right here, it did kind of take him a while to get down here. He had to go all the way from the north of the village of Outcasts just to make it here because he doesn't have the hammer to even get to the closer warp spot. But, you know, it can be nice to know that, okay, well, I can just destroy things really, really quickly now. Ooh, looks like SirNiko is making the play to desert the chat was talking about.
And Prier taking the gamble on Swamp, as I suggested. So both of our runners going different directions. Once again, oh, I take that back. He's going to desert as well.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to shut up.
And he's actually going the entrance way as opposed to the back way.
Yeah, a bit interesting there. SirNiko immediately grabbing the big key. He's going to check the big chest. Is this going to be the item, or is it on land mo?
Shovel!
The shovel! That means that...
Okay, he was leaving his warp on Swamp. Oh, that's clever. Prier was leaving his warp at Swamp Palace, so when he does go over there, he can just very quickly get back to Swamp and start checking that. Or,
not a bad idea when you think about it. But with the shovel, that now opens up a hashtag fetch quest. Fetch quest. So this is an interesting play here, but SirNiko is now going to finish up desert. Unfortunately, we found both items now, so we know that Land Molus isn't going to have anything, but it is a crystal dungeon, so it's definitely good to get this over with.
The thing is, Lyra GG, is because they don't have the hammer, they don't have that close Dark World access to Swamp. So that's probably why they're leaving the portal there, as opposed to coming all the way from the north Village of Outcasts portal. Because that is a long way to get down there, as opposed to just having that one quick warp there, and they can just flute to that location anyway.
Exactly, and if they left it out just outside of the dungeon, they can, or outside the dam and not on the staircase, they can just go in, drain the swamp, go right back into that portal, and enter Swamp without too much trouble. So it's honestly a good call. We'll see if it pays off for him. SirNiko finishing up Land Molus very quickly, getting the map and his next crystal. So technically, crystal-wise, he's ahead, but not by much. Prier has the better setup item-wise. So this lead it's either way at this point.
Yeah, for sure. It's really hard to pick a winner right now, for sure. It's going to come down to whatever gamble is the right gamble at this point.
Yeah, where is SirNiko planning on going? Because he's going to have to, I think he wants to go to Swamp, but I think he's going to realize very quickly he can't do that just yet.
He could also make the play on Ice Palace to check that after he gets the shovel spot here, which is what he's doing first.
Yeah, that might be what he's doing. That looks like what he's doing here. You get the shovel in a dungeon, like, I'm going to go check that, especially at this point. Let's see what he finds. And it is $50.
Just $50, yeah. Here it is, the Ice Palace play. Okay. Or Ice Cave first, because he died on the way.
He hasn't checked the Ice Rod Cave. And Prier taking the hint as well from the shovel. He's not going to be happy with what he finds, but again, you find a shovel, you might as well check.
Yeah, especially with how this seed has been, a lot of one-off locations, the cave, for crying out loud, paying off with a sword upgrade. Wouldn't be too shocking if this did lead to something, but unfortunately, as we found, it is just $50.
SirNiko now is going to make the play on Ice Palace. Prier setting up for Swamp. Once again, it's gambling time. Whose gamble pays off? And you in the chat thought they were going to be in sync. Ha! Nice try, folks. Prier set up that portal for a reason. We knew he was going to Swamp.
Yeah, and the one unfortunate thing I see, though, is if the Ice Palace call is the right call, I imagine Prior is going to be checking this place next after this. And with Gold Sword, he's going to be flying through. If you have to get to the point where you do find Hammer in here and beat Cold Stare, it's going to be a much quicker fight with Gold Sword as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, Prior, I think, is taking less of a risk because even if he has to double dip, he knows he'll have to check. Right, this is the only chest he can check. 5 arrows. So he's already beat. Call Phantom Ryu because it's gotta be Kane.
Yeah, he's just gonna take that cane and leave. Not sure how I feel about that play because is it just the I guess it is a 5 and but he didn't have to be Aghanim though. I don't know. So many things to process at once, but yeah, gonna immediately take Kane, go back here to Misery Mire, finish up this dungeon. He is gonna have the 5 and 6 crystal. I don't remember if he got all the items from here, or if there's one on Vitreous or not. But that's how this is looking right now, anyway.
If he passed up the hammer here, that's going to cost him because he could have easily taken the hammer, gotten the Misery Mire crystal, and then not have to worry about Aghanim to get the big bomb. So let's see if Prior follows suit or if he decides to do a full dip and end up finding that hammer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was a gamble coming to ice, and it's also a gamble to leave ice early. So we'll see. It looks like Prior is going to press on. Looking for more items. Hammer cannot be on Green Pendant in this particular seed because you need Hammer to actually clear Ice Palace because it's the boss is being guarded by hammer blocks, so they will need to pick that up before they can finish ice. Prior is just opting to do more in ice to see if he can maybe find the hammer in here.
It's a risky play, but not a bad one, because the hammer does show up here quite frequently. So if it's here, he can turn around and full clear the dungeon, get his green pendant, which could also offer an item.
Yeah.
I mean, what if Cold Stare has the Quake medallion they're looking for, and the hammer's here? 3 good items like that. That's go mode right there.
Mm-hmm. It's weird to think about all the blockades that we've seen in this particular seed, and at the end of the day, the Quake medallion is the one that ends up being the go mode item.
That is interesting to say the least. Oh, that would be very bad, but we'll see what happens here. SirNiko now entering his fight with Vitreous. With the silvers, he'll be able to clear this fight very quickly. So he'll get his crystal, but then what does he do? Does he go back into Ice Palace and check like Prior has? Or will he make the play on Aghanim in order to get the big bomb?
Yeah, as we discussed earlier, like, Pyramid Fairy is open, but due to the circumstances of not having the hammer and the fact that the bomb drops whenever you jump off a ledge, it's going to be basically a required Aghanim play just to get the big bomb to get to the pyramid.
Yeah, Prior now deciding to stop halfway point in Ice Palace. He's going to head over to Vitreous. Unfortunately, Mire not having any other items, but again, there's the big fairy. So if they decide to do Aghanim, that might be the play. But SirNiko heading back to Ice Palace. He's gonna keep going. He's gonna go back in and see what he can find.
And dress something in chat. Turtle Rock at this point will not have any go mode progression items because you need both Quake in this seat's case and a hammer to actually even enter the dungeon. So yeah, TR is not going to be the final go mode location. We'll have it before that point.
Yeah, when by the time they get to Turtle Rock and be able to access it, they'll already be in go mode. So that is not going to be the case here. Now, some of you thinking that Nico is making a mistake here, but honestly, if we never found the hammer, we did not find all the items in Ice Palace. If the hammer is still here, this could be the right play.
Yeah, it is kind of funny though that yeah, SirNiko came here first, found the cane, and left immediately. Prior got the cane, continued on a little bit, but still didn't opt to finish up the rest of it. And now SirNiko is back to clear out more of it, just kind of going back and forth with the Ice Palace progression.
And again, Moldorm's still holding an item. It would be especially that will be the player trolling themselves if they keep leaving Moldorm behind and he ends up having the item they're looking for.
Yeah, double-dipped Hera pendant dungeon. And there's no way to avoid the double dip either, because you need the hook shot to get a cape for one of the sword upgrades that you need to beat Moldorm in the first place.
Yeah, I said several times when they went over to that ether tablet, they should have just went ahead and cleared it. Tower of Hera is not hard to full clear, and if he has an item, you should do it, because that could be the difference, and right now it definitely seems that way. Prior finishing off Vitreous rather quickly, getting his piece of heart and his next crystal, so once again, they are back on an even path. This is anybody's race, folks.
Definitely, and depending on what Prior does next, whether it's the trip up to Hera, back to Ice Palace to see if there's something there, even if he makes the play on Aghanim to see if he can open up the Pyramid Fairy, that's also a gamble. It's just a lot of very out of the way progression that he'd be choosing between right now.
Okay, where is Prior going now? He's heading back into the Dark World through the Village of Outcasts, but where does that take him?
Yeah, at this point, I really don't even know anymore. I'm stumped right now. Oh, he's okay. Looks like
we didn't notice that SirNiko did find the hammer in Ice Palace.
Oh boy, that is big. That is huge.
I called it. I called it.
Prior should have kept going. Oh man, this is going to be such a time waste for Prior right here.
Yeah, SirNiko, who's been behind for the majority of this race, may have just taken the lead. Finding that hammer, he's going to be able to full clear Ice Palace, and then all he's missing is the Quake Medallion. If Cold Stare has it, that's go mode.
Yeah.
If not, all it will take is a quick check of both the big Pyramid Fairy and Tower of Hera. Those are very quick to do. That will pay off huge. And Prior picked up the big bump and then just decided, screw it. He just wasted $100.
Yeah, this one, I think he realized that, oh wait, I can't do this right now. So then he's like, oh, I guess I'll just go to Hera then.
Oh, Lord. This is just unreal what these runners are doing right now. There's the burrito. Yeah. And I think we've already found the compass as well, so I think Cold Stare has the last item.
Yep, I think he does. And with this opens up Swamp. This opens up a much faster path with the big bomb. So you'll be able to check that as well. So
oh, scratch that. He does not have the compass yet, so that means it's most likely on Cold Stare.
Okay. But yeah, Swamp's open up now. Oh, man.
Yeah, Prior may have just cost himself the race by not gambling on Ice Palace. SirNiko decided to go for it, and he just took the lead here.
One thing I would like to see him do, though, just for a little added safety, it's not major, but maybe after Swamp, maybe taking just a small trip over to that Lake Hylia Island to pick up that third sword upgrade, just to have a little more assurance in a much faster Ganon fight.
And if he decides to check that Bombos tablet and gets the Butter Sword, he'll be in prime position. He is set up really well here. Prior finishing off Moldorm with little trouble thanks to that butter sword. What does he get?
Quake!
There it is! The Quake
Oh my
medallion!
god!
Oh, did we call it or what there, Kirby?
We did. Oh my gosh. Double
ladies
required.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Commentator's Go mode. We now know where all the remaining required items are. All SirNiko has to do is to remember to head up to Tower of Hera, and he will be in Go mode. And all Prior has to do is head back to Ice Palace to get the hammer, and he will be in Go mode. This is anybody's race at this time.
Oh my god, is he doing what I
No!
think he's doing?
Oh, he is gonna.
No.
This is gonna cost him. This is the critical moment. Prior is assuming that the hammer is in the pyramid. He is going for Aghanim.
Oh, and this is just gonna further SirNiko's lead. Oh my gosh.
This is the moment where SirNiko takes the lead and goes for it. He is, because even if he clears the swamp, he's gonna be able to go through it pretty quickly. And because he has the hammer, he'll finish it. And if he gets those sword upgrades, like we said, he will be in a prime position. This is SirNiko's race to win.
Yep, and chat's pointing this out, and it is a very good point. SirNiko will, at this point, opt to full clear swamp because he's probably going to be thinking in a crystal mindset right now and not really thinking of the pendant dungeons. The last pendant dungeon he can finish right now. So he's probably going to be... It'll be a while till he gets that Quake medallion, so if Prior does get back to Ice Palace, it will still be kind of close, but yeah, like,
Yeah, but also in counter to that, even if that is the case, SirNiko, once he gets that Quake medallion, he'll be right there to head to Turtle Rock and be able to clear it pretty quickly, so it's
yeah, that's true.
But we are going to check the Big Fairy Cave here. We have $50 and powder.
Powder.
Oh, that might throw him farther off the course.
Looks like he is heading to Swamp next, though, so at least he's going to be getting crystals, or a crystal, during this full clear.
Indeed. Now, he might at least find the red mail. We haven't found that yet, so he might find that in Swamp, because he's going to full clear it. Alright, well, he sets this up. I got to hear something real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, sure thing. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of games still left to play in this seed. Like we know where all the items are. It will just come down to when our runners decide to go to the right location to get their item. We know that the hammer is in Ice Palace. It's not at the very end, thankfully. It's still before Cold Stare, because he can't get to Cold Stare otherwise. So that's where the hammer is. That's where Prior needs to go. SirNiko needs to at some point head back to Hera. And Prior's got to know that he's definitely missing some items from Ice Palace, because he did not full clear it. And it did seem like he kind of left right in the middle of that. So in a way, I still feel like Prior is still, I think, in a decent position. It's just a shame that he made this Aga play, because we know that this is not going to yield anything. And at this point, even though, yeah, Quake Medallion is very close to where Turtle Rock is, it's just a really, really, like, I just see him checking everything else before going back up there to check Moldorm. We'll see.
I'm back. It looks like I'm back just in time. Prior finishing off Aga 1. So he'll be ready to check the Fat Fairy Cave and not be happy with what he finds.
Yeah, 0 blue balls in that Aghanim fight, by the way. So that was at least good RNG for making that play.
At least it won't cost him too much time then.
Yeah.
SirNiko now working his way through Swamp Palace. He will be able to full clear this, obviously, so he's going to check everything. in hopes of finding that Quake Medallion. I'm almost certain we're going to at least find something like the red mail in here, but nothing of significance, obviously.
Yeah, potential to find that mushroom, too, which could lead him on another fetch quest as well.
Look One Waffles, that is incorrect. They, in the old versions of the randomizer, they did remove the blue balls, but as of version 26, he has been doing those again. So unfortunately, that is not true. He does do blue balls.
Yes, you are thinking of the previous tournament, because in the previous tournament, yeah, there were no blue balls in the Aghanim fights, but they did add those back in. And it's kind of unique of how they added them back in. They added them in a way where whenever you approach those bosses that have those random patterns, you will both experience the same RNG. So if, in this case, Prier didn't get any blue balls in that fight, if SirNiko were to do the Aghanim fight, he would also get no blue balls as well. So they try to keep that in the fairness for races like these, so you don't get kind of messed up by the randomness.
Yeah, and don't worry about it, Waffles. Yeah, it's understandable. You were going by the old logic, which you weren't wrong there. Back in the day, they did not have it. So
yeah, exactly. And you have the same with the Ganon warps as well.
Exactly. All right, so SirNiko not checking. I don't think he checked left side swamp. He's not fully go-moding, but essentially he is.
He may opt to come back in and check after he's done.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Now it costs him a bit of time. Let's see what else he finds here. There's some code red for you.
I am also wondering what Prier is doing right now, because
I think he's checking the Bat Cave, because he can do that with the mirror.
That's true. Yeah, he can.
SirNiko now working on Argus. He's got the Tempered Sword, so he won't have too much trouble with it. Did he get that off Lake Hylia Island?
Yes, he did, I believe.
Wonder if he'll check the Bombos tablet after this. Nonetheless, very quick fight there.
Oh no, he did go to Bombos Tower. My bad.
Okay, then he'll probably, who knows, maybe at some point he'll look at Lake Hylian Island and get his Butter Sword. Though, to be honest, I find that less likely than getting the Bombos tablet first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does know it's there, so...
And as we thought, he is going to head back in the swamp to check, but Prier is going back into Ice Palace. It's only a matter of time before he hits go mode.
Yeah, this was the thing I was a little worried about, because, yeah, like, it just seems like... I feel like of the locations SirNiko can check, like, Hera might be the last one, because it is up there on Death Mountain. So... while he's checking all those other one-off locations, Prier will probably be finding the hammer, and he's going to be starting to sprint through the rest of this scene.
Yeah, because he'll be able to go mode Swamp, which is very quick to do in go mode. And then, of course, Turtle Rock, which will be the same for both our runners. So, yeah, this SirNiko had the lead, but he lost it with one critical mistake.
And again, it's hard to really call it a mistake though, because it's just it's just the decision that you have to make in Randomizer sometimes, where especially in this version, which is very like breadcrumb like, where you want to follow items as you get them. Like getting that hammer did lead him in the swamp, so he could start checking these items. Nothing's really pointing him back up to Tower of Hera at this point.
Fair enough.
It's again one of those cases where it's not really a bad move, just in this case it's the wrong move. And there it is. There's the hammer in the spike jelly room.
Yep. And he is exiting out of the ladies and gentlemen. Prier57 has officially entered Go Mode!
Yep, at 1 hour, 44 minutes into the run, he is finally in Go Mode.
Now, why is he back in pod area?
Does he think that pod is the crystal and not swamp?
Oh no! Oh, this is bad. He misread his map. He thought this was a crystal, not a pendant. Oh, this is seriously bad.
I wonder if he's gonna step in, gonna hear that pendant music, and he's like, "Whoops!"
Yeah, if he hears that music, he better turn right around and head out.
He's still got. Oh, wait a minute! Wait a minute! There he goes.
That's the wrong music. Crud.
Yep. Okay. See, okay, while SirNiko is doing overworld stuff, Prier's going to be go-moding Swamp. Like you said earlier, go-mode Swamp is such a beautiful thing. It's almost like a work of art, just going through that dungeon really quickly, not making any major stops, just getting through what you need to get through to finish that in, like, very small amount of time.
SirNiko now heading into the Bat Cave. We know that's not going to pay off. Prier heading into Swamp, and like we said, he is going to go mode that. That is going to be huge for him because that will allow him to regain his lead. And because after that, all that's left is Turtle Rock, and we know they can go mode that as well. This race has been back and forth, but it looks like Prier may have taken it.
Yeah, we'll see. It's whatever SirNiko checks after this. Thankfully, he did not get the mushroom, so that's not going to be something he's going to check. Oh, but he's gonna check these down, isn't he, for that last chest?
Yep, that's exactly what he's doing.
Oh,
Now
no.
This hurts. This hurts.
So painful because we know exactly where he needs to go. Oh no, now chat's calling mushroom and TC big chest.
Oh, they're not wrong. It's very possible, and that will make it even worse.
Yep. Ooh, getting trolled by this Hellway room, as it's normally called.
Prier, as we suspected, just blazing through Swamp Palace because he's go-moding and he knows he doesn't need anything else. He's got the big key. He's got all the keys he needs. He is done. And that just means it's going to be that much faster for him and that much larger of a lead by the time he gets to Turtle Rock.
Yep, definitely. And chat also pointing out, like, his status on pod. Now, SirNiko did check a lot of stuff in pod. I don't remember if there's still one item left there or not on Helmasaur.
Let's hope not, or if at the very least, let's hope he doesn't go there before going to Tower of Hera, because otherwise he is in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like he's going to Catfish now.
This is the true sign of a Shade Seed, when it's that one item that just won't let go. And that's what we're seeing here. We saw it with the hammer on Prier's side, and for SirNiko, it's the Quake Medallion. He just doesn't know where it is, even though it's in the last place he would think it to check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because after Catfish, it's if there is an item in pot or not, Hera, and I think Spike Cave is also still on the radar as well. So I feel like he'd check Hera before Spike Cave, just because he'd have to save and quit probably after
Yeah, that
Cave.
makes sense to me, because if you do Hera first and then do Spike Cave afterwards, it's all in one go. But either way, that doesn't matter. Thankfully, he is heading up up Death Mountain, so he will be checking Hera pretty soon, it looks like. But it might be too little too late. Prior is already on his way to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, they are both on Death Mountain for what is going to be the last time, thankfully. But yeah, right now Prior definitely has a definite lead at this point.
And once again, I'd like to remind you folks that if you've been enjoying our runners so far, please give them both a follow on Twitch, SirNiko and Prier57. Both have done an amazing job thus far, and they deserve all your support. Be sure to give them that by following them. Oh, he's doing Spike Cave first!
Of course. Oh, no.
Nico, what are you doing?
I almost wonder if it's a case where, because the usual Hera double dip is with the basement room, maybe they're just like, maybe he just kind of like slipped. He's like, oh right, there is still something in there. Moldorm.
Actually, folks, we already suggested in this case that was a bad call, because that takes longer. It would have been smarter to check Hera first. So the fact that he has to go all the way back up here to head to Tower Hera again takes longer. So this wasn't just a wrong call, that was a bad call.
And you could still say it's just a wrong call, though, because technically it would take less time to get, like, if the hammer was there, which we know it's not. Like, we know it's not there for sure. Like, if he may have just checked that first because it took less time to get there, but yeah, like, again, it's hard. It's a hard call to make.
So Prior now starting his run in Turtle Rock. Only found a small key so far. We know we're going to find a big key before too long.
Oh yeah, I guess SirNiko never did this either.
Oh. This hurts. This hurts so hard. I predict much rage from SirNiko when he gets that Quake Medallion. So much rage.
Yeah. He might opt to use the Quake Medallion immediately just to show his rage.
I wouldn't doubt it for a minute. And there's the mushroom at Turtle Rock. Twist the knife, why don't you?
Yeah, we just stole that Chain Chomp's meal for the day.
You heartless maniac. And yeah, chat's right. Aside from the red mail, this is pretty much a 100% run.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, aside from missing a couple of the dungeons there.
And yep, the red mail could be in GT as well while he's doing the big key search, so that can probably be easily found.
We'll know when we get there, otherwise it's in here in Turtle Rock, but I don't think they're going to be looking for it at this point. They are good to go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Prior will be missing a bottle or two. Yeah, he's missing 2 bottles right now according to the tracker, because one of them was in the Thieves Town big chest.
Oh, yeah. Small key from the big chest in Turtle Rock, so we're still looking our way through. No, but this seed, I'm telling you, this seed has trolled them till the end.
Yep, SirNiko is officially in go mode. He's going to be making his way over to Turtle Rock now. Unfortunately, about 80% of the dungeon behind at this point.
Yeah, it's not the worst amount of fall behind that we've seen in one of these runs, but it's certainly significant.
Yeah, for sure. A case where if Prier skips right side Ganon's tower and goes straight left side, and SirNiko immediately goes right side to find the big key, that'll catch up sometime significantly, but I still think even Prier would still be ahead after that.
Yeah, we're looking at least 2 or 3 trolley runs with either Trolldorm 2 or Ganon before we start to see any significant chance to catch up for SirNiko.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolfman, that's what people seem to say about me, yeah.
Prior is low health kind of going into this fight, so if Trinex gets a few lucky hits in, that could waste a little bit of time, but with the Gold Sword Trinex fight, I don't imagine that happening.
Yeah, when you got Butter Sword Trinex, you have no trouble at all. He'll be able to he'll almost no cycle this thing, so I would expect this to be over really quickly.
Yep, there it is. When you have that 90% angle that Trinex makes right there, you know you did that fight perfectly on that second phase.
Yep, and ladies and gentlemen, it's time! We're on our way to Ganon's Tower. There are 22 possible item locations inside of Ganon's Tower. Where do you think the big key is going to be hiding? Now, unfortunately, it looks like the guessing game is not working in this channel. I'll have to talk to Feasel about that. But where do you think it is, Kirby?
I'm going to say it's at 8.
If I'm not mistaken, that's like one of your favorite locations.
Yeah.
I'm going to go... I go by location more than number. I'm going to say the room above the hookshot room, the Stalfos room, upper right chest. But don't count on it because my guessing is pretty crap.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nothing in the first 2 chests, and unfortunately right side cannot be explored. We're going to have to go straight left side to find some keys.
Yep, let's see. And small key on the torch, so rip Bob. He ain't coming up today.
Bye, Bob.
So chest number 3 or 4, chest number 5 is the map, chest number 6 is the piece of heart, chest number 7, small key. Still looking for it.
Oh, looks like he is going to be doing what is commonly known as a Tart Magician strat. Getting some keys to go right side.
Yeah, a little bit of back and forth there. And he is opting to do the tile room.
Ooh, that will take some time.
That is a gamble of gambles here. I very rarely see this.
So with this gamble, I think that does open up some doors for SirNiko here, especially if there is nothing in this right side, and he goes straight left side and doesn't backtrack. That could make a decent difference here.
Yeah, this is SirNiko's chance. But then again, if the big key is here, then that means Prier's got it.
Wow!
It is!
Oh my god! That was at 8, wasn't it?
Yeah, big key at number 8. You called the number. Wow!
I wasn't expecting that room, but I got the number right.
Yeah, somebody want to clip that? Jet and I agree, clip that. That is amazing. Who would have thought? That was a gamble by Prier, and it just paid off big time.
Yeah, so he's going to be going straight towards the end right there. So it's his race to lose completely now because, it's linear from here on out. And he has gold sword and silvers on top of that.
I'll add to the fact that you know SirNiko's not going to gamble the tile room that early.
No, that's never a room you want. That's a room you only want to gamble if you really feel like you're that behind. And with this seed taking 2 hours at this point, I'm sure both of them feel very, very behind right now.
Oh my god. I am blown away. Because that would have trolled them hard if they went the normal route that you normally do in Ganon's Tower. That would have been the last room they checked.
Yeah.
Instead, he took a gamble and it just paid off.
He must have really, really felt like he was behind to make a gamble like that. And I don't blame him. This seed has been insane. Ooh, he is really low on health right now. I should be a little careful, but he is going to get some health right here.
He is going to go ahead and hit the bunny beam. SirNiko go ahead and get into Ganon's Tower. Is he going to make the same gamble? I doubt it. I would be shocked if he did. But, oh my lord, what a seed. We're going to have to ask Prier about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, a lot of people are thinking, the potential for cheating in this. Honestly, there's no reason to. Even if he could do it and get around the loopholes, there's no reason to do it. There's nothing on the line. There's no money at stake here. This is just fun. Burning that kind of honor just seems kind of stupid. Maybe if there was a prize at stake, I could see one of these guys taking the risk of cheating, but there's no reason to do it. That was just a huge gamble that just happened to pay off more than anyone could have possibly expected.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Prier now fighting Mordorm 2. He is almost done with this tower. Oh, taking a fall.
Trolldorm strikes again. That's what we call Trolldorm's revenge at that point, because how quickly he beat him earlier.
Trolldorm's revenge, still trolling after all these years.
Indeed. And unfortunately, I called it. SirNiko is not checking the tile room. He's not making that gamble, and that's going to cost him even more.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, that is not a bad call. That is just the wrong call, because no one would think to check the tile room that early, normally.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just the thing, of all the gambles SirNiko has done in his run, I liked all of his choices that he made. It's just that a large majority of them were the wrong ones, and that's just the funny thing about Rando. There's almost is like not really any wrong decision, or there's not any bad decisions. It's just sometimes they're the wrong decisions.
Yeah. Prior getting a triple early, getting a double there, so he won't have to take long to finish this fight. There. Oh, nope, one more.
Yeah, I think one of the triples counted as a double.
Yeah, I think you're right. There we go. That takes care of Magnum 2. And now it's time for the Big Pig. Also, to clarify something to Sheen and C, that was not an actual DQ. That's why we didn't call it that. It's just a lot of our fans jokingly call that last chest the validation chest. If you don't open it, they think it's they jokingly say it's a DQ, but it's not. So just
definitely not.
But Prior now working on Ganon here. SirNiko's checking the rest of the chests in Ganon's tower. He is not going to be happy with what he finds because we know where it is, and he's again. I would not be surprised if that's the last place he checks.
Yeah.
Prior quickly getting into phase 3 of Ganon. This race is all but over.
And by the time he finishes Tile Room, he's gonna probably know by then that the race is over. Oh, and he's actually gonna opt to check the other 4 chests first.
Oh, I don't blame him, but at the same time it hurts because we know where it is and we know he won't check it until the very end. And Prior getting the torch glitch. He doesn't need it, but nice to have. And that's it.
And right as he finds out that it's going to be in Tile Room, he's going to see that done in chat.
Yep. It is over. As Prior now enters the room, he finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 41 seconds. GG Prior.
Yeah, get all your GGs in chat. That was oh my gosh, the seed. This was so incredible to watch.
And don't worry, folks, we're checking right now to see if we can get Prior in here for a chat. Give us a second and see if we can find out. Oh, no, he doesn't have a mic, so unfortunately we can't bring him in here, but yeah.
Yeah, he might come in the chat, so if you have any questions and if he's in chat, definitely ask right away, because oh my gosh, that race.
That was nuts.
Completely.
Yeah, so SirNiko working his way through the gauntlet at this point. But again, big shout out to both of our runners, SirNiko and Prier57, for an amazing race. Such fun. And yeah, I'm agree. This was a shade seed through and through. This was beyond a shade seed. This was just a troll seed.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, going double dipping Tower of Hera, forced double dip no less, when it was a pendant dungeon. Just that's so insane. For one of the reasons going up there is just kind of needing a sword and trying to look for a sword, then eventually leading to the cave to get that sword. they had a chance to go back to Hera right after that. Even when they had to get the Ether Medallion, they had a chance, but just there was always more open at the time, which just put that location out of their minds until, especially in SirNiko's case, to the very end.
It's like I've always said, it comes down to what gambles you make and which ones pay off. And unfortunately for SirNiko, his gambles just did not pay off for him. While Prier's did, especially that last one with the big key in the tile room. Like, you would not normally make that call, but he went for it and got it.
Mm-hmm. He definitely, like, and SirNiko had given himself a huge advantage by popping back in the ice, getting that hammer. Like, that was a huge, huge play for him, but unfortunately, Hammer just opening up all kinds of other locations. It is just sometimes, even if there are 2 items in play that you need, just getting the items in a certain order can really, really affect how the rest of the seed plays out, and that's what I was worried about. Because, yeah, Hammer was arguably more important, but at the same time, it just opened so much other stuff that the other item, Quake Medallion, was just kind of lost in everything else.
Yeah, chat pretty much saying what we're thinking here. He didn't play bad. His execution was on point. The problem was he just got trolled. He based his route on what items he found, and unfortunately he found the hammer before the Quake Medallion, so he didn't think to go and check that.
Mm-hmm, definitely. We did see a very excellent no sword, no hammer, no Cane of Samaria fight from Blind with for SirNiko. That was really incredible. Like, execution has been on point. Definitely did a lot of the seed without a sword, which is always admirable to do. Just very well played. Pain to explain why Tower of Hera was a forced double dip. There was the hookshot in Hera, which led to the cape, which led to the first sword upgrade, which in turn led to a lot of other upgrades along the way. You needed a sword to clear Skull Woods, and the boots needed 2 swords, and I believe those were the only 2 swords you could have really gotten at that point. So, yeah, just that, and then, of course, Quake Medallion being on Muldorm, but unable to actually fight Muldorm when you're there initially, because, again, you had no sword.
Yeah, not even a hammer to fight with, and indeed, Prier is in the chat as we speak, but oh lord, what a seed. SirNiko now finishing up Muldorm 2 and making his way up to Aga 2. This has been an amazing race thus far. This is the kind of race I sit back and go, man, I need a cigarette after that.
Yeah.
Also, we should note that SirNiko did get the riot shield during his search for the big key. So that was something that Prier missed, but I don't think he really needed it.
In chat, Prier talking about the early leave in Ice Palace. The thing is, both runners actually leaving Ice Palace early before getting that hammer, so yeah, that did happen for both runners.
Yeah, it just so happened that SirNiko decided to make a gamble on going back in there first, but in the end, it didn't pay off enough.
Yep, that Quake Medallion, finding that first really, really helped determine. Because, again, the Quake Medallion, it didn't open anything. Like, you needed the hammer to even get into Turtle Rock in the first place. And the hammer just opens up so many other things that finding that first didn't really help.
So as SirNiko heads into his fight with Ganon, I want to remind you folks that if you enjoyed this race, don't go too far. There's races happening all the time here on Speed Gaming and on our secondary tournament in Randomizer, in ALTTP Randomizer. Right now, I believe there is a race finishing up over on Speed Gaming 2 with Ajneb 174 and JSR. We also have a race at the same time going on. Actually, I think it's a quad race with Feral Pigman and Tear. And we have another race going on tonight at 10 between El Tigre and Kyle LPN, and 1 at 11 with Mike the V and Zero Rush. I don't know if that one's getting streamed or not, but it's on the list. And of course, our secondary tournament on ALTTP randomizers, 1 through 4. Check all of those out. So if you like this race, there's plenty more where that came from.
And that's going to be the case for the next few months, too. Just non-stop randomizer all the time. Only in the group stage of this tournament. We still have a bracket stage after this. And the secondary tournament just now working on their bracket stage. So a lot of randomizer, a lot of matches. If you love this, you will be entertained for the next 2 months at least.
Absolutely. And we're also going to have a race at a Awesome Games Done Quick 2018. So you can look forward to that in the near future as well. So plenty of randomizer to go around. And then not just that, we have other tournaments happening on the same time. Check the schedule below in the description. You can see all the races we have going on. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also, again, big shout out to SirNiko and Prier57. Make sure you give them a follow on Twitch, as well as our tracker and restreamer, Epipoliticos. I think I pronounced that right. I'm sure I did not.
I've been practicing. I want to say it's Epipoliticos, but yeah, something like that.
That sounds about right. And of course, myself and my co-commentator Slim Kirby, please be sure to give it a follow as SirNiko finishes up his run, taking out Ganon. GG to SirNiko. And as he enters the room, he will be finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 10 seconds.
GG. GG.
Oh, man.
I love his dot comment in the SRL. For today's lesson, let's discuss self-fulfilling prophecies.
Oh, my Lord.
I think that works for the context of this seed, honestly.
Yeah, I think that does about it. I think that about does it there. Oh my
for both runners at that too. So
yeah, no kidding. And SirNiko is in the waiting room. Let me go ahead and bring him in real quick.
All right.
SirNiko, GG, sir.
GG. That was quite a race.
Yes, it was. Where do we even start with this?
I honestly don't know. There's just so many things we could ask about. I think the big one is the Quake for you, the Quake medallion being in Tower of Hera, just trolling you into the end. What was your reaction when you finally found that?
I was worried that I had forgotten something, but I kept running through my mind and saying, I can't. There's nothing that I have skipped. I know that it must be in the last place, and it was. So at least I'm not losing my mind. The rolling over 2 hours and not seeing a dot done, I kept thinking maybe something even worse happened to Prier. That's the only thing I could think of.
He had his own set of trolling there. He actually triple dipped into Ice Palace, as I recall, because he did not, or he went a little further into Ice Palace than you did the first time. And he only went halfway through and then went back. And then you double dipped into it and finally found that hammer before he did.
I mean, it was still double dip for him as well. It was just he came back later on, so it was still a double dip for Prier as well. But yeah, both of you leaving Ice Palace too early, so that wasn't exactly where the big difference came into play. If anything, I'd say the big difference was the fact that Hammer was your opponent's go mode item and Quake was yours, so he had less places to check for his go mode item than what you did, because Hammer just opened up way too much, and you also full cleared Swamp because of that, checked all those one-off locations too. It's just, again, just sometimes just a random switch of the items can really take a lot more time.
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing about medallions, is that basically they can be anywhere.
Definitely. And
there were like 3 places during the seed where I said, I'm going to go kill Aga after this, and then I find something. I'm going to kill Aga after this, and I find something. So I'm glad that I managed to avoid killing Aga when I didn't need to.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned Aghanim, because your opponent did actually make the play on Aghanim, because he was thinking about the Pyramid Fairy, and since he didn't have the hammer at that point, he thought, okay, well, I have to kill Aghanim so I can actually get to the Pyramid Fairy. So he did that, destroyed Aghanim. I think by that point, that's around the time when you found the hammer, and you were kind of going through all your checks before the end. But again, just at that point, he had less to check. He went back into Ice Palace, and that's where he found his Go Mode item. And then by that point, that's kind of when he kind of took over there. Also made a very incredibly huge gamble in checking Tile Room 8 as the 8th item while he was checking right side. It's just, yeah, just those things is what kind of decided this race, I'd say.
I almost checked Tile Room, but I'd said to myself, it's been 100% seed so far. It can't possibly continue to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it was.
Yeah.
Well, we got through it. I mean, it's fun sometimes when the seeds, when you get a seed like that and it's a close race. Because sometimes you get a seed like that and one person they find the item right away and then they blow through it and the other person is stuck for another 30 minutes. So I'm glad that it wasn't that big of a difference.
It really wasn't. It was only decisive at the very end, honestly. Like, it was hard to know what exactly was happening. You made a lot of gambles throughout the seed, and in some cases earlier than your opponent did. So when he was checking those places, you were making progress. He did have a bit of a lead, but once you made the play on Ice Palace to get the cane, that's when you kind of took a small lead. And then when you went back for Hammer, that's when you kind of took a bit of a bigger, substantial lead. But again, just looking for that Quake medallion is what did it.
Yeah. Well, it happens. That's the nature of Randomizer.
For sure, definitely.
All right, well, that was fun. I need to move on to some other things, but I'm glad that the race went well, and I hope everybody enjoyed themselves.
Oh, we absolutely did. Be sure to check the VOD later. You're going to enjoy the commentary we gave you.
Yeah.
Excellent. I will definitely give it a look.
Oh, absolutely. And hope for you folks at home, I hope you enjoyed. Again, make sure you give these guys a follow on Twitch. Make sure you follow our tracker and restreamer Epipoliticos, and make sure you follow, of course, myself and my co-commentator Slim Kirby, as well as all of our channels, Speed Gaming 1 through 4, ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. Make sure you give all of those a follow so you can keep up with all the racing action. Any last words before you sign off, Kirby?
Not really. I think you covered it. Thanks to everyone for coming out to watch this. This was insane, and there's plenty of more insanity to go. So keep on watching these tournament races. They're always entertaining, and there's always a new kind of troll or a new kind of scenario you'll be seeing in every single seed. So it's not going to be the same seed over and over again. There will always be different seeds and different situations our runners will have to go to, and it's entertaining watching them get through it.
Absolutely. It's a new race every time, so make sure you guys keep tuning in. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as I always like to say, rock on, guys!
Rock on!